All right, now that I'm unmuted and I'll stop talking to myself. Y'all are looking at me like, what's wrong with him? Now I know why. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Always good to start the day off with a laugh. I was saying, Holly, you're looking at me very skeptically. How's everybody in your house doing this morning? And it's because I'm just moving my lips over here, I guess.
They're all still sick. Well, Walker is still sick.
I'm sorry. Well, I hope everybody's rounding the corner. Maybe this is coffee the way I'm acting, maybe it's not. So let's just roll with it. But cheers, everybody. Today we are going to talk about something that Brandon recently came up with. So I'm going to turn the tables over to him really quickly. What's up, buddy? And it is basically a preview of the seller strategy session. And it's a document that he put together. So I'm going to let him give you some background on his thoughts on that. And then he's going to walk you guys through that. Okay. We'll jump over here. All you have to do is just come down here to more and then hit share screen and then select that. And then it'll just show that. And then you can.
Well, you can go ahead and do it if you want.
Okay. All right, guys, can you see the desktop or Brandon's presentation? Thumbs up.
Can you see it? Okay, can you hear me? Okay, good. Okay, well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for hopping on really quickly. So the purpose of this document is, last year when the market was crazy, with respect to listings, there was a lot of competition for listings. There was always somebody that was willing to do a listing for cheaper because, the market was just so crazy that properties were flying pretty much on their own, right? We're not in that market anymore. But when we were in that time, I probably lost last year, I'd say 6 to 8 listings over the last 12 to 16 months where I had a listing appointment with the sellers that I didn't get it for whatever reason. Now, most of the time, I think that was because I didn't agree with the number that they wanted to list it for. Sometimes I'll make a concession and work with them to give them an opportunity at that number, or we'll meet in the middle. But a lot of the times I didn't win because, quite frankly, I either wouldn't cut my commission past a certain point, or we just couldn't come to terms on price. But at the same time, when I was losing those listings, I was really thinking to myself strategically, what is it that I can do to give myself to put myself in a better position to be successful at winning more listings, right? Because when you're in real estate, the longer you're in real estate, you're going to have clients that are ready to sell the homes that you help them buy. You want to be their de facto listing agent, right? You've already got that relationship with them. You want to keep that relationship with them. But the longer you're in real estate, you're going to start being referred by your past clients to other people that you don't have a relationship with. Okay. So sometimes you're going to have a past client that says, hey, my brother's looking to sell his house. I'm going to put you in touch. And that may be a soft handoff where you've pretty much got their business, but sometimes not, right? Sometimes these people do have relationships with other agents and they want to interview and talk to several other people. So I'm really trying to think about what can I do to set myself out as more of a professional, to have the best opportunity to win this thing the first time I meet them in person, and to really stand out to them and to get them to think, hey, this is the guy that I really want to work with. And so one of the things that I ultimately settled on trying, which I've had some success with recently, is creating kind of a pre-listing packet that I'm sending out typically 48 to 24 hours in advance of our listing appointment. And this really is just to get to know me, right? That's pretty much what this is about. And the reason is because you've probably heard Doug say this, you've heard me say this if we've scripted or done anything together. We're in the relationship business. We're not in the sales business. Yes, we do work in the sales industry, but real estate, to be successful, to really crush it and be a high volume producer, you're basically facilitating and managing relationships. And so my whole thought is, if the minute I walk in the house, if these people are already predisposed to knowing me and liking me right off the top, I've got a better chance of them wanting to do business with me, right? And not many people are doing anything like this. They're just showing up and trying to win them. Then I want to start winning them from the moment I have that first conversation with them. Then I want to send them this packet that they may look over or they may not. I can't control that. But at least I'm showing that I'm putting the effort in to try to win you over. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to just fly through this thing. It is not a very big document at all. And so, you know, I'm a minimalist because I'm not good at graphic design. So I use that as an excuse to have small design on my PowerPoints and presentations. And so this is very simple. It's just bullet points and photos and straight to the point. Again, the whole point of this is, hey, I'm looking so forward to meeting you and discussing your home. I appreciate the opportunity to get in front of you, and I welcome your questions. Before we get together, I wanted to send you this packet of information just so that you know a little bit more about me as a person, me as a professional, and then what I bring to the table to help you achieve your real estate goal, right? That's pretty much the email that I send, and then I just attach this document. So you can see this PowerPoint as I'm scrolling, correct? Thumbs up. Okay, so the first page is just a slide, you know, it's just very generic with a property I've sold. I just ripped this right from Instagram. One thing that I've done on the last 2 listing appointments I've been on is I've actually driven by their house, or I've gotten a prior photo from the MLS or tax record, and I send it to Mel, who does our social media, and I have her do a just listed graphic. So instead of this photo that says sold, now I'm actually sending this with their house on it, and it's saying just listed, to show them, hey, I've already started getting my marketing preparation ready to put your house on the market. Even though this ain't my photo, I'm already going to go ahead and start getting stuff ready for you. I'm prepared from the moment I park my car in front of your house. Okay, and so the second slide is just a real quick bullet points, like 7 or 8 bullet points about me, right? Lived in North Carolina. I've been in the Triangle, went to school here, went to school here and here. This is what I did prior to real estate. This is where I live. My wife's better than me. I've got 2 awesome dogs. You know, I want them to like me. I want them to think, hey, this is a nice guy. He's not just a salesman here, you know, to try and get my business. Obviously, they know that, right? People are not dumb. But I want them to see me as a person because I just believe that gives me a better opportunity to establish a relationship with them that's going to help me win them over as a client. Okay. The second side is me as an agent. I found some statistic a couple of years ago that if you close like 24 or more deals a year, you're in the top 2% of agents, or top 3% of agents nationally. If you close more than 30, you're in the top 2%. And so I'm just trying to find bullet points that make me look like I'm awesome. Now, if you're earlier in your career, you may not have statistics like this. And so what are some things that you can do? Well, there's nothing stopping you from pulling team data, right? You can just massage the language on all of these slides however you want to give yourself the best impression, or to make the best impression of the best case for yourself. But, you know, again, I talk a lot about the relationship piece. So this is a photo of my wife and I with some past clients. I've helped these people buy 3 investment properties. They're Indian, I think. It doesn't matter, but they had us over for Diwali, which is a holiday, a religious holiday that I've never celebrated. And so we took this photo because they were like, it's your first Diwali, let's celebrate this. And so I tossed that photo in there to show that, you know, I've got a relationship with my clients that extend beyond the closing table. These are some data points that I'm trying to show them also to say, hey, I know what I'm doing here. I'm pretty good at this. So like highest sold listing, lowest sold listing. Why do I do that? Well, sometimes you'll have a client that, you know, they may be a little bit on the higher price point for where you're at, and they'll think, okay, do you have the experience at this price point that I work within? And at a certain point, you can say, yes, you do. If not, you can use team data, right? Put highest team sold listing, right? Whatever you want. Why do I put lowest sold listing, 140? Well, because not everybody I'm working with, unfortunately, has a $750,000 to $1 million home. And I don't ever want to come off like some of these pretend agents on Instagram where, you know, they only want to act like they're a luxury agent. If someone calls me today and they've got $195 townhome to list, I'm ready to have it on the market in 5 days. I'm not turning my nose up at business. That's how I built my business. And so I don't ever want anyone to think that about me, right? So I've got a roughly a $900,000 price window that I've worked within to help sellers. I'll help anybody within that window or above or below. I'm game. But the point I'm trying to make is I'm not too good for your business. And also I've had experience at where you are. So I'm confident that I can take this on. Average days on market. That's just to show people, hey, I'm going to put a plan together in place and likely this property is going to be on the market for a week. Now, this doesn't take away from the comps, right? You're still going to show comps when you do your listing presentation. But the average days on the market just whets our appetite a little bit to say, hey, I have some assurance that if I work with this guy, it's going to move in a reasonable time frame. It's not just going to die on the vine. It's not going to sell on the markets for 4 months. Okay. Next slide, why Oceanaire, pretty self-explanatory. But then I get into some of the bullet points that that I'm going to go over in our actual listing appointment, which is in the listing packet that we have on .loop for both the coast and the triangle, right? Our tagline is, we have the experience you need to make your best move. So I throw that right off the top. I talk about the team, right? We've got 2 offices serving nearly a third of the state. We actually do a pretty fair amount of business where someone sells in the triangle because they want to retire to the beach, or they live at the beach and they want to come up to the triangle because they've gotten a better job. This stuff happens regularly, right? This is one of the talking points that we can tee off to people when we're in that situation. Hey, we can help you pretty much anywhere in the state by and large. This is a benefit that we offer to you. I talk about our boomtown, thousands of leads visiting the website nonstop. I talk about how we can do best fit leads. I talk about the hot sheet. I talk about how I can take any property address, 115 Apple Drive. I can drop 115 Apple Drive. I can put that in Boomtown, and every user in Boomtown is assigned a score as to how that property meets with the interest that they've expressed based on the criteria they've searched with so far, right? Sellers like that, hey, the odds are someone that's already with my firm is probably not going to represent the buyer on this thing, but here's the deal. We've done it before. And so right off the rip, I can drop this in there and I've got 40,000 people. I can see if this marries with what they're looking for, right? That's built-in production right there. I'm already providing value. I'm ready to drop this in the lap of 40,000 people immediately. Multi-level marketing. And of course, you get into this more when you're doing your listing appointment. It's going to be on every website you can think of, right? It's going to be on the MLS. We're going to do open houses. I'm going to blast this out to other agents. We're going to post it on social. People want to see that you're doing that. They're expecting you to doing that, but I'm not leaving anything to chance. I'm going to put it up front that this is what I'm doing. And so that again touches in on the next bullet point. This next slide, I actually did not send Doug the right file. But this looks kind of stupid the way it is, but on the other version that I did, I actually put a bullet point down here explaining what this is. You probably recognize this Boomtown graphic from your training, and also you'll see it in the seller strategy session packet. This is exactly what I was talking about. Just a quick graphic of a Boomtown interface. You guys see this every day, so you know what this stuff means, but we're explaining, we've got a ton of people on our website regularly. We see pretty much everything they're looking at, when they're on there, how long they're on there, what they're searching for, what they're saving, what they're forwarding to other people. And I'm explaining to them how we can use that to benefit them, how we can make sure that we're getting this listing in front of people that we think it may be a good potential property for. Why me? That is a question that we may never get a good answer to. But when it comes to real estate, I am selling myself hard on this slide, right? I've done a lot of business in a relatively short time frame. I've been in real estate right at 4.5 years now. I'm proactive and responsive, right? If someone needs me, they're going to get a hold of me quickly, right? What this slide is doing right now, guys, is setting the expectation, right? We talk a lot about setting the expectation with our clients, especially in the buyer strategy session. And when we prospect, I'm doing the same thing here with sellers. I'm letting them know, hey, if you need to get a hold of me, it's not going to be a problem. I might not answer the second you call, but if I don't, I'm either in a meeting with another client, I'm with my wife, or I'm doing something with my dogs, and I'm going to call you back just as soon as I'm done with whatever that activity is, right? I'm setting that expectation that you can depend on me. I'm setting the expectation that I'm in a relationship with you. Yeah, it's a business transaction, but I also like you and I care about you. I want to learn about you. I want you to like me and care about me as a person. We're in a relationship business. Here's how that also benefits you. And I'm going to touch on this more in my seller strategy session. I'm also trying to cultivate a relationship with every agent that shows your house, right? Extremely important. If you are showing homes to your clients and you're not leaving feedback to the seller's agent as you're showing that home, that is going to come back and bite you in the rear when you get your first listing and you have people showing your home and nobody will leave you feedback. It's incredibly frustrating. And so I'm letting my sellers know. I'm actually going through this right now because I have a listing that was withdrawn off the market a couple months ago with another agent. I'm calling every agent that shows that house 3 hours after they show the house if I don't have feedback. I need to know what you and your clients think about this property. I need that information to better educate my seller about the reality of their listing that we have on the market. I'm letting my people know proactively. I am going to try to develop a relationship with every agent to get information about how your home comes across to potential buyers. Also, I want them to like me and I want them to want to work with me, right? I want them to work with me. I'm letting them know we use Lighthouse at the coast and up here in the Triangle. Our marketing for our photography, our agent videos, our listing photos, our drone, our Matterport is second to none. No one comes close to us. So I'm letting these sellers know up front, the marketing for your listing is going to be top tier, right? I'm not going to be leaning in your half bath with a Kia Sarah flip phone trying to take listing photos, right? I'm going to get somebody in here. We're going to pay them well because we want the best product, right? I got to entice people to get in the house. I've got people on call. I've got preferred vendors if we need to correct something. You got a hole in your drywall, we need to patch it up, I've got somebody. You got a plumbing issue, I got somebody. You need your septic cleaned, I've got somebody. I'm letting them know I've got this roster of people that we can call when we need to help them solve their problems to get their house sold. The other thing is I let them know, and you may get to a point in your business where you do this differently. Sheila, you and I have discussed this directly. You guys, if you haven't worked with a listing agent yet, that as soon as you get the listing under contract, they pass you off to someone else and you never hear from the listing agent again. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I know a lot of people that do that, and to each their own. I don't do that. And a lot of people don't like that. And I let my people know up front, right off the bat, that's not what's going to happen here. Yes, we have April, and April is incredibly beneficial. And here's what April's role is going to be. If I need to schedule a repair, April's going to help us facilitate that. We have to get information to the closing attorney and from your lender and schedule an appointment to go in and sign documents. April's going to assist us with that. But when the rubber meets the road and there's a problem, you need someone to get hold of, you're calling me, not someone that you didn't meet, right? I came to your house and won your business, and I'm with you the whole way through here. And a lot of people like that. And then I let them know I've got a bunch of great reviews on my Zillow page. Go on there and read what other people have to say about me. I think that benefits me for you to do that. Why would I not dangle that carrot in front of people? This is the number's 95 now, but I've got 95 reviews out of 100 and I think 45 closings, 5-star. I don't have anything below 5-star. People like working with me. Go on there and check it out and see for yourself. I'm not lying to you. Other people are saying it. And then let's do this together. And this is just, an emotional play here. All I'm trying to say with this is I'm ready to get this done now. I can have your house on the market probably in 7 days, no more, depending on how the conversation goes. I'm ready to get to work for you. And I want to do this with you. I want us to create a plan together where we're comfortable having a working relationship together. I want us to have a friendship. I want us to kind of come to terms together and agree that we're going to do this together as a team. And so I talk about that a lot in the listing presentation, and I'm setting the expectation for that conversation on this last slide. I'm not making any bones about it, right? I want your business. I want you to want to work with me. I want to work with you, and I want to get your house sold. And so let's get it done together. Let's do it together as a team. Any questions? You're just so blown away by the authenticity and the drive and the character that you're just speechless.
I
Good.
just wanted to add in that I have, as a buyer's agent, I have had a deal fall through because the list agent passed off to some random person in their office, not random person, but
Right.
a transaction coordinator. And it was with another broker out of another state. And she flat out said, the list agent doesn't care about this sale.
Yeah.
And I agree with her. That's what it felt like. So it
Yeah.
was really hard. I fully appreciate how you explain that in your listing presentations, because I try to explain that we have in April, but I will always be your point of contact. I think that that's very important.
Yeah, and I agree. And April's role on our team is so important, and she is so beneficial to all of us on the listing and the purchasing side, regardless of what kind of transaction that you're in. And I don't say any of this as a negative to her, because it's not. I have nothing bad to say about April. But to your point, Holly, and for other folks, if you haven't been in this position, you will be there at some point in time where you've got a deal going sideways and you have a problem, and you need the chief participant in the conversation to step up and engage with you. And someone's closing manager is not in that role, right? And so I'm letting all of my people know up front that, basically the buck stops with me. If there's a problem, you're paying me to solve it. Right. That's the job of the seller, the seller's agent. They are paying us to sell their house. And so, it's up to me to solve whatever riddle it is. And I'm letting them know up front that I'm going to do that. And also, Holly, there are I'd say a mix of sellers that have been in this position before. They're familiar with something like this. And then there's a mix of people that haven't. And so this may be the first that they've heard of this. And so, if you are talking to someone who's talking to 2 or 3 other listing agents, and you're the only one talking about this, you may be giving them something to think about that nobody else is.
100%.
Someone may, I might be the second or third person to meet with somebody, and the 2 before me said, once we get you under contract, then my assistant so-and-so takes over, and they're fantastic. And then I go in there and I say, here's why this is stupid. They might think, what, he had a good point. What if this lady just comes and puts her sign in the yard and then she disappears?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to speak maliciously about anybody, but I do want to give my people things to think about. And so that's kind of why I tossed that in there.
Yeah. I had a list agent the other day that made a comment about, well, I've been out to the property once. And Stephanie and I were taken aback by that. And Stephanie's like, I go out at least 3 or 4 times,
Yeah,
and it's amazing what some people get away with.
I've had a lot of deals up here, Holly, where the listing agent has never gone out to the property once. Especially if it's a bigger name agent. A lot of agents they market on the reputation and they get the listing and then they pass it on. And so some people have had, experience with that. But again, this is just to explain to people how we're going to do it, right? We're not going to focus on the other people. This is why we do it this way. I think Doug had a question. Or
You said that you send it out like 24, 48 hours before your appointment with them. Do you email it? Do you send it through Dotloop? Do you text them or call them and say, hey, I'm going to send you this? Tell me how you set the expectation.
Yeah, so I don't know if y'all could hear Doug, but he was kind of asking how I set the expectation for sending this thing out. Basically, what I do is, we're going to have a first initial phone call where I'm going to set the appointment with them. I'm going to let them know on that phone call, hey, about 2 days before our appointment, I'm going to reach out and send you some information. And I'm also going to just reconfirm our appointment with you. And so be on the lookout for that. And so then what I do is, about 2 days beforehand, I'll text them and reach out and say, hey, so looking forward to meeting with you guys Friday at 3 or whatever. Want to make sure we're still on the same page for that. Also, right now, I'm sending you a document with some information about me. I'd like you to take a moment to review that before we get together on Friday. Let me know if we're still good to meet. And so I let them know twice that I'm sending them something. Wow,
That's great.
I set the expectation on the phone call when we book the appointment, and then when I confirm the appointment, I send it and I let them know.
I would say too, something interesting to think about. So anybody can obviously take this document and make it whatever they want to with it. What you've provided them is a template to kind of emulate, replicate, duplicate, whatever, however they see fit. There's also no reason you can't do a similar document for buyer clients and just do it the same way. Hey, just so you know a little bit more about me, here's a little info piece in advance of our meeting tomorrow. I just want you to know what you're getting.
Yeah. I want to make sure, did y'all hear what Doug was saying? Yeah, so I mean, this is just a template. You can build this however you want. If you're not at a point where you think you've got the personal stats where you can do this, lean on the team. That's part of the beauty of being on a team. You have the resources of the team. You can build a very similar document where you can just plug and play for your buyer clients as well. We talk so much about providing value. This is an example of going above and beyond what most agents are going to do. Most agents, as we know, they don't want to talk to you at all until you're pre-approved. They don't want to do the buyer consult. They want to show you one house and then you're right on that one house. And that's not how we operate, right? And so this is just trying to make yourself stand out a little bit more and having a little bit more of a polished approach to win.
Hey, Sheila, now you're the host.
Hey, how you doing, Holly?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, ladies. How y'all doing?
Hi, we're good. I'm good.
I
I was
guess
just
we're
gonna say, I thought it was a
chit-chatting.
me problem until I saw somebody move.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I saw everyone else moving but him, so I was like,
I was
oh,
like,
okay.
is we all frozen? But okay. Look like they're coming back.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're back.
Hey, welcome back.
I don't know if it was the internet or Zoom being Zoom, but that kind of is what it is. So I'll send out a recap for the meeting. So you can watch it again if you want. I'll send out the file from Brandon as a template so you can use it to build whatever you'd like to see fit. And I would suggest, just looking at this, exactly what Brandon talked about. This is setting you apart from other agents. If someone is interviewing 2 or 3 other agents, how many of you honestly think anybody else is doing something like this?
I think that's the theme of our company.
You're right. And this is just like us adding another sweet layer of frosting on top of the cupcake or whatever, right? It's just another thing to make us more, to make us stand out, to explain who we are, to set those expectations so people know what they're getting, because, the quickest way to build a relationship is to share who you are with folks. And they're doing that with us because they're telling us about their search before they meet with us. This is just an opportunity to let them know who we are, so they have a little bit of background about us, and also show that, we care enough to take the time to do this. So little things can add up to make a big difference in this business. So take advantage of it. All right. Any other thoughts or points for discussion?
I don't have any.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate your participation. And I hope you have a great day. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.